Okay. So at first, we're gonna have our whole students' self-introduction. So if you are not opening your camera, do it right away, and maybe I'll just ask some names, and you can just open your mic, camera, and then just um, start with your introduction. So first of all, I would like to ask Lisa, if you are here, feel free to introduce yourself.
Guys, can you see me?
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Well, my name is Lisa, and I'm more interested in the startup related to human network. Well, basically, I would like to build a connection of the business people, and it can be built as a network or as a network for business. And in this kind of regard, I have a lot of social skills in this field. I launched many projects like that, organize people, launch some events, and so on. From this perspective, I'm looking for a co-founder who can help me actually with IT part. So maybe this is kind of a back end, front end, or some knowledge in how to build a blockchain, because this kind of their instruments probably will require this kind of payments and so on. So basically, to build a network which can connect the people in these regards, it can be from one point of view like profitable. From another point of view, it can be like things which can be exchanged between people, between business owners, some specific services through one system. So this is my idea. Do you have more questions to me?
Obviously, if you could share about where you're from, where did you study, and yeah, just those kind of like more information about yourself. What do you like, and what is your vision as a founder or just as a person?
Russia, and I graduated from Bihan University as well with management science and engineering background. Well, my bachelor degree is from St. Petersburg University for Space Instrumentation, and it's related to innovation. So I was kind of fond of innovation. I really wanted to make my own innovation. I was like really looking for this kind of opportunities, and we had this kind of program. So this program was about from the first step of the idea coming to your mind to the last step to launch the production and to develop the market for your idea. And this kind of has main sense with the book you have sent to me as well. And so yeah, I think I would like to try it with my own startup these ideas.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Nice to meet you too. Uh, Now we would move probably with Saran and then David, because they're in the same team.
Hello. Hello, good morning, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm Saran. Probably most of friends here know me. I'm a PhD student from Tsinghua and probably like graduate soon. My major is control science and engineering, and for the startup and like for the entrepreneurship projects, I'm mostly interested in AI based projects. And David is maybe probably like after that he can introduce himself as well. So we are co-founders, and for now like we are trying to do a project like it is a dieting plan. For example, we can use AI to through which users like can we will build an application through which like users can ask questions regarding their diet plan, like what should they do to achieve specific goals. For example, if they want to lose the weight, so what should be their diet, what should they be eating every day, and how they can like maintain a goal. So we will like build specific applications according to their needs. For example, if like someone is an athlete and he want to like make some achieve goals like for a running competition, or he want to build some muscles or like any other goal he want to achieve. So that like the app will be like specially customized to his own goal or her own goal, and he can like choose specific goals that okay, like for how many days I need to do this specific plan, and which diet he should adapt to, and how much calories he should intake, and at the end he will have the record that how much calories he consumed, and how much like his weight tracking, like for the last 1 month he want to track, or for the last 1 week. So that's like the just basic concept of our this project, and later on we can add like more functionalities and more features in it. And like we will discuss, maybe David can tell you more about it. Like we can, other co-founders can also join us in this project. And if like I'm a AI, like mostly my major is like related to control science and engineering, so mostly like robotics or automation based projects. So I can also join like other projects if they're working on AI related projects or robotics. I have like basic program skills of Python, and also like the basic understanding of major AI concepts like LLMs, large language models, and computer vision, and NLP, natural language processing based projects. So that's all about me. If you like have any specific questions, you can ask me.
Okay, thank you, Saran, for giving us a whole overview of your project, and also you mentioned your skills. So it's better if you also mention what skills you have, so others can also know more about you. Okay, now let's move to David, who's also a team member with Saran for now. Yeah.
We cannot hear you. Your microphone is off.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
opened my microphone.
Yeah.
My name is Davide. I'm from Italy, and I studied my master at Tsinghua University. Graduated in computer science with a focus on AI. It's at Tsinghua University where I met Saran. We both have a very strong AI background. That's why we decided to join our force to try to make a startup, leveraging our AI skills. And as Saran described, we are doing a startup in the food and health industry because we are both interested in that field. So I just repeat quickly. Basically, we are trying to use AI to generate a meal plan for a user according to its needs, and also to analyze what they eat. So both to create a schedule to what to eat, and also analyze the content of their food. Like for example, give a half score according to how they are eating and whether they are meeting their goal. And then we plan also to add more complex features, like to buy the ingredients of the meal, or to find a video to learn how to cook it, or to list the ingredients and so on. We will try to add more useful features to diversify our product from existing one. So by adding some e-commerce function and also using AI to add more fancy features that could be useful for different kind of users. That's on my side.
Okay, thank you to David. Now we are going to move to Veve, who's I think he's one of the youngest in our cohort. He's just 18. He finished his high school, and now he took a gap year before going to college. He also got offers to go from US colleges, but he didn't go there. He's pursuing entrepreneurship full time, working in Beijing. So yeah, Veve, if you could introduce yourself to the whole cohort.
Okay, thank you, Trevor's introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Vivi. I'm from China. Now I'm taking gap year and
I think
working
your
on a YC
camera is not
China.
on. Veve, I think your
Can
camera
you
is
guys
off.
hear? Can you
Yeah,
guys
but
hear
We
me?
can hear you, but not see you.
Yeah, we can hear you, but
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you for Trevor's introduction. My name's Wei from China. Now I'm taking gap yearing and
Maybe
working on.
we cannot see you. Can you open your camera?
Oh,
Or
sure.
you're oh
Hello,
you're
everyone. Can you
outside.
guys hear me?
Yes, yes. That now
Yeah,
it's
Okay,
yeah.
good.
okay. So okay. Not really nice to see you guys. And I'm Bebe. And now I'm taking gap yearing and I'm now working on YC China's alumni named 巨流沙科技. I'm taking responsibility for product selling. But now during that time I'm also studying some tech, some tech skills like Swift, like Java, like JSON type thing. So and so now I'm developing iOS app to help people to improve their poker skills. So I wanna do AI decision making engine, who can simulate real human make complex decisions under different emotions and under complex situations. One more thing, it can also learn and evolving by itself over time. So now I need a co-founder who can do for reformant learning, is that, and machine learning. I remember David told me he can do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. And
Yeah,
really
you guys
nice
can
to see you
connect.
guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Veve, for joining with us. And if you guys see, he's also wearing our SGA t-shirt because last year when we were doing our cohort in person in Beijing, we arranged this demo day. Everything was in person, and we provided those t-shirts also. And he was there at that time also. He and at that time he became interested in joining. So this year he joined. So yeah, that's how enthusiasm works. Now we will move to Chris and his team. So, Chris, if you could introduce yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, hi, my name is Chris. I am doing my PhD in Tsinghua University. Actually, I'm already here for quite a long time. I did my PhD first first I started my master in Tsinghua University in 2018. I graduated in 21, and after that I continued with my PhD. And during that time, I say a little bit the story how my business started, and during my master time and also in the beginning of my master, I started doing some videos and uploaded them on social media, and I had a lot of fun doing that. But at that time, I didn't have a clear idea how I make money with that all. So I gained followers, but I didn't know what can I do with the followers. And also because most of the platforms are in China, so I was struggling with the language. But at the later stage, I was too busy with my studies. Maybe it's also an excuse a little bit, but I decided to focus on my studies. So I stopped doing videos completely. But later, I noticed I miss all that, and I started again, not with videos. I started building an app for almost 1 year, and yeah, then at the later stage, so the app that I did is for German learners. Many of you probably know Duolingo. It's quite popular. So I wanted to build something that is better than Duolingo, and I still want that. But right now, I will continue with the app later. The app is almost finished, but the content is missing. Right now, I'm working together with Gul. Gul is also in my team, and we have some other team members who are also supporting us. We are building a website for a German community. So if you are interested in learning German or in anything about Germany, then our website has a platform where people can add friends and where people can find other people who are interested in the German community. And this is kind of what we are doing. So we build a community where people come, and also our goal is that people can learn German for free. on our website with German native speakers. And I think, for me at least, I've never seen a platform where you can really interact with the teacher for free. And my idea is making it for free, and not just temporarily, keeping it for free and leverage with the platform. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
yeah,
Yep.
maybe I forgot. Sorry, I think I speak a little bit
Yeah.
long.
It's okay.
Yeah, so my major is mechanical engineering. So for what we are doing, I'm mainly doing the technical parts. So I build the things. There are many things where I actually don't have so much knowledge about, like programming. But when I notice that something is missing, then I try my best to learn the skills. And I think as long as you want to do it, there is a way to achieve it.
Yeah, you said it right. As long as you want it, there's a way to do it. And learning technical skills nowadays is not gonna be that hard as well. You don't have to have a computer science degree to be able to do
Yes.
programming. Okay, so let's go to your teammate Gul. Gul, if you can hear us, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, okay, it's my turn now. Hello, everyone.
Okay, so
My
for everyone's knowledge, this is Dr. Gul, not just Gul. She just graduated with a PhD from Tsinghua. So yeah, congrats to you. Yeah, just go on.
yeah, I'm just right now feelings the doctor, Dr. Feelings with the name. Yeah, my name is Gulnaz and I am from Pakistan. I graduated last year with my PhD degree in chemistry major. And what I need to do. Yeah. So right now, actually, I'm doing my full-time work. That is R&D scientist. We are doing some project related with chemistry stuff. Yeah. And with here, I'm doing a startup. Chris is the founder. So what I'm basically doing, yeah, I am following him. And my support is in this journey is like to invest some money. Also, I deal with our staff members to like for monthly monthly payment and how is the work is going, how much they are doing, and what is like current progress, all the things like kind of management task and also communication task with them. As Chris already mentioned that we want to do the German community through the website, like starting our idea was with the app, but currently we are doing with a website, and then later we will also do like more stuff which we want to do. So currently, which I am saying that like one of the thing like how we can differentiate our idea with other people, like for example, other is already providing some many people are providing German learning, and yeah, like how we can differentiate our idea or our business or startup through the others people, like because there is difference between a startup and the business. As also like after reading the book that how you can differentiate, you don't need to just like copy that other people are doing, but what is like main point you are putting that your product or what service you are going to provide to others is differentiating you from others people. Yeah, so currently like we are still like thinking like, yeah, I mean I am thinking in this area. Yeah, that's all about us. And I'm happy to join this program, and I hope so like we will have more communication talk and yeah, more learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ego. So now we're gonna move into Delight. So Delight, if you can hear us, please feel free to introduce yourself.
Okay. Oh, hi. My name is Delight, and I'm a student at Beijing Institute of Technology, currently pursuing my master's. I have a startup that is focused on healthcare through drones. My major is aerospace or aeronautical engineering, and right now I have people that I want to ask rather. I want to speak with them to be co-founders, but I don't have one currently. I haven't decided yet to look for. I want to, as Sohan said, I want to look in my circle first and ask before expanding to the outside world. Thank you. think that's all for now.
Yeah. So if you could talk a little bit about your idea, like what problem you're solving. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the problem or the idea that I have is to use drones for medical delivery, medical services. The idea came up because the idea came up as a part of my research. So there are many drone companies that do deliveries for regular things like everyday items, but not many focus on healthcare because of regulations, because there are many regulations surrounding healthcare with drones, but it's not impossible. It's not infeasible. The idea is to reach the hard to reach regions like islands and places that regularly it would take many days to deliver this necessary supplies to. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it can be timely and effective. That's the idea.
Okay. Thank you, Delight, for the introduction. Now we're gonna go into Muhammad Abdul Nabi. If you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Muhammad Abdel Nabi. I'm from Palestine, and currently I'm pursuing my PhD in international law at China University of Political Science and Law. So since my background is 100% legal, but at the same time, I was really looking for such an opportunity to learn more about startup. So I found this program for me like as a great opportunity to learn more, especially it starts from an idea, then you're gonna implement the idea. So the problem what I face at the beginning is I have idea, but I really don't know who to ask, or really people will give me time to reply all of my concern or everything. So yeah, regarding my startup, I was thinking about like something as a student related to education. So at the beginning, I was thinking to maybe make like such a platform that gonna help a student to find internship, because I found out as even me as a student is important to find internships since it's like gonna help the student in the future to get a job. Then like I was thinking at the beginning to make it like only for law student, because I know it's very challenging to find such internship in a law firm due to the language and also the requirement. Then later on, I was thinking not to make it much wider, like also to include educational things. Like if the people want also to study in China, especially in like in this case, we target the Arabian market actually to the Arabian students who want to study in China. Like we could help them to secure admission or maybe scholarship and so on. And same time, like it could be also under the umbrella of this is about something related what Chris said, but this about Chinese and Arabic. So it's about for people who are interested to learn Chinese and people who want to learn Arabic. So we could make something that connect these people together. So I don't know, I feel a bit confused, like if I was like, maybe I will ask Sohan today about if I need to focus in just one thing, or I just make all of these things under one umbrella, like under this topic. So far, yeah, I'm a bit confused. I still like even didn't decide or didn't look for a co-founder, because I think I need to finalize my idea. I should like first know what I want exactly, then I will decide. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you mentioned a good thing that at first you need to decide what you're gonna do, then you can come like share your vision and mission
Yeah.
with your co-founders, then it's gonna work out. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you. Let's move to Obi. Pressure's now come out. So Obi, if you can introduce yourself. Obi already has a startup also. His name is Obi Motech. So yeah, Obi, go on. We can't hear you. Please open your mic.
The microphone.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Precious Umakama. I'm from Nigeria. I graduated from Sian Johnson Liverpool University with a master's in applied informatics, Masters of Science in applied informatics. I came to China in 2016 and I obtained my bachelor's degree in computer science and technology before my master's. And after that, I started my first company, Wuhan Alpha Technology Development Co. Limited. That was during the pandemic. After a year, I had to close my company because I did not have a product of my own. I was literally building websites for people, you know, and some of these freelance stuffs. And after a year, I couldn't keep up because running a company as a single individual in China is not that easy. So I went to work. I found an employer and I worked for like a year. And during this time, I did not feel comfortable because I felt like I can't really work for someone. I just want to be an independent entrepreneur, stay on my own, build something, be my own boss, you know, make the decisions, and I just love being in control. So I'm currently living in Kunshan right now, and I have a new tech startup called Obimo Sujo Technology Co. Limited. And right now this is a startup and I intend to build my own product. I have 3 different product ideas in which I know that for one, which has to do with blockchain, I have developed an MVP. So this particular product is targeted at people interested in cryptocurrencies, stocks, and blockchain as a whole. People who want to buy stocks, people who want to invest in cryptocurrencies, who want to save in the crypto, you know, space, because we all know that if you put your money in the bank year after year, you go back to it and it's the same. That's if you're lucky. Sometimes the bank deducts charges, maybe for ATM or service fee, monthly charges, and all of that. My point is, you do not get an increment in your funds, most likely. But if you happen to save this same money in some sort of blockchain community, or you buy some stocks or something, you realize that there is an increment in your money. And sometimes you also want to spend this money on properties, assets, you want to invest in one thing or the other. You know, I'm trying to build a community, or better still, a platform that would educate young individuals on the importance of investing in stocks, cryptocurrencies, and all of that. And also, whatever your profit is from your investment, you should be able to invest right out, you know, in the same platform. We're trying to bring in organization and partner with, you know, real estate companies around the world and all of that, that enables people to buy properties from the same platform. Just imagine booking your flight ticket using trip.com, and you're able to pay for your trip using your cryptocurrencies or your assets, you know, on blockchain and all of that. Just imagine having to buy a car and you're paying with Bitcoin, Ethereum, one thing or the other. Just imagine having to buy a house, and you know, on this platform you have some properties, real estate listings, and you're able to pay directly using your cryptocurrencies. And why is this important? Sometimes we find ourselves in countries where cryptocurrencies are not openly accepted or widely regulated for individuals to, you know, have easy access to. And you might find it very difficult to withdraw your money because there are no banks that gives you access to withdraw or convert your money from Bitcoin to, you know, your local currencies. There's no ATM that allows you to
Obi,
use sort of.
sorry to cut you off, but we are running short on time. But we will hear more about you, but we also have some other ones, and then we have a
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I thought it's like storytelling, people getting to know your project in detail. Sorry, I apologize for that.
It's
All
okay. It's
right.
okay.
So
Yeah, we have a lecture
yes.
ahead as well. Yeah, thank you.
All
Thank you
right. So
for
do you have any questions for me though?
no, I
Yeah,
think we're gonna have a Q&A. So, yeah, you can go on right now if you want. Yeah.
okay, yeah, just one short question. You mentioned, do you have right now already a company in Suzhou?
Yes, I do.
Or, oh, so it's already registered. You got the Chinese
registered.
certificate. Okay, okay.
Yes.
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 Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. We will talk more about that at the end if we have time, or later on as well. We will have discussion sessions. Okay, let's go to Aimin Mo. If you can hear me, who's from Myanmar. We can't. Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. So my name is Mo and I'm from Myanmar. And I just graduated from Beijing Institute of Technology, majoring in product design. And a little story about where my idea come from is the experience that I am having right now because I'll be pursuing my master degree in other country as a freshly graduate. And I think it is quite challenging for me studying in other country, finding a place to stay. So renting a place. So because the program that I'm attending will be in short term, so I think it's the problem comes in because like short-term international students have struggling to find a house because most of the landlord they prefer 12-month lease, but we only have to stay about 4 to 6 months in one country and move to another country. So I wish there could be a platform that could match two students who have same timeline and share the 12-month lease. And I think it would smooth down the transaction and and also satisfying the landlord preference. And yeah, I think that's it. And I'm also finding a co-founder because this is just my idea, one of the idea that I'm having right now.
Thank you. Looking forward to hear from you more later on. Zainab, if you can hear me, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello, everyone. My name is Zainab. I'm from Kurdistan region in Iraq. I got my bachelor from South Korea, and I got my master from Tsinghua University in public policy, and I'm currently doing PhD. I will keep it short. My main idea is that like a digital or a B2B platform that facilitates cross-border trade, investment support, and importers and industrial players with SME. And This platform, what I'm trying to solve is the information and trust gap between China and Kurdistan region, or let's say Iraq. And the second one is like a logistic complicity. And the third problem solving is underutilized trade potential. What I'm trying to do is various companies like logistic companies, but there is no platform can link these two places as China is a manufacturer country and there is a lot of business opportunities in Kurdistan region. So basically, this is what I'm thinking about currently, and I would love to go deep during the office hours. This is all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Zainab. We have three more people to introduce themselves. So, can I ask Leila to introduce herself? Leila, can you hear me? Yeah, I think Leila is not being able to hear us. So let's move to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, if you could introduce yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay,
we can't see you.
I'm really sorry, but today I won't be able to activate my camera for technical reasons. But next time I will do it. So
Okay.
yeah, I hope you guys will understand. So for my case, my name is Ibrahim and I'm from Mali. I've been here in China for 4 years now, and I study at the University of Science and Technology of Beijing. I'm doing a bachelor degree, and I'm graduating next year. So my major is international trade and economics, and I just started to get interested into startups like 2 weeks ago. So the idea that I had for my startup was mostly based on an encrypted system, and I wanted to build an encrypted app for victims to express themselves and get advice from private, discreet community. So, for example, if you're a woman or whatever, I mean, it doesn't it's not really specified to any sort of gender, sorry. But for example, if you're a woman and you're working at work and you had a problem with your boss, you've been a victim of assault or rape or whatever the case is, this app will allow you to speak within your community and then just get advice from other people. And from there, if you have enough courage, then you will go to the police and just report the crime. So this was one of the ideas that I had, because this is a problem that we can hear more about it every time, on the news. And I just thought about it like this. And in the process, I also had many startup ideas, but it's always involved around the idea of encrypted system. So right now, I'm not looking for co-founders specifically, but if I needed to look for a co-founder, it will be about a skill that I don't have. So for my case, I have the idea, but I don't really have the coding knowledge and everything. So if I had to get a co-founder, it would be more about someone who would be specialized in encrypted data and everything related to it. But the only problem that I noticed recently is that encrypted apps is really tough question, especially here in China, because the government wants to have access to everything. So I think for the startups that I want to build, it would be better for me to move to Dubai. For example, the same way the creator of Telegram did, because he's living there and there's less restrictions in Dubai. But then the idea is here. So if you guys have any advice for me or any recommendations, I'm ready to listen. And yeah, that's all. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Ibrahim. I don't know if Leila can hear me now. Leila, can you hear me now? I don't think so. Okay, let's just move to Sam. So a little bit about Sam. He's just a high school student. He's 16 years old. He's in 11th grade, so he is the youngest in our whole cohort. And he already built his app, and he's gonna talk more about it. Yeah, Sam, if you could introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning, everyone. So I'm Sam, and I'm from Guanghua High School. So I'm 11th grade now, and I'm currently starting my own business, 智取民进 technology. So I'm focusing on education, basically international high schools, education for international high schools. So I'm making an app for definition memorizing. So it's basically really hard for us to memorize all the definitions that needed in the qualification test, like A level or A level or AP, IP test. So we're making the app to help students improve their efficiency and let students know basically what vocabulary will be included in the test. And my skills are Python for backend and front end. I basically use Cruiser to vibe code, so I'm able to make websites, and I've completed some projects, both hardware and software. For example, crypto trading with AI and PDF converting. It's just like little projects. So, and I think that's all about me.
Okay. Thank you, Sam. So yeah, Sam is studying in a international high school in Shanghai. So, and that's why he's also building an app to help students out there as well. Okay, thank you, Sam, and thanks everyone for introducing yourself. Now we can probably move into our main lesson today. But if you guys have any questions to each other before that, like you want to talk with someone who have introduced here, you can just open your mic and maybe ask questions. Okay, since no one is interested for now, we will probably have a discussion later on after we make some plans. So yeah, as our topic was today about establishing founding team, MVB, mission, vision, values, user research, and product definition. So we talked about our founding team, how you can look into it. So let's just move into a little bit more specifics of how can I look for a co-founder? So there are some steps that we can follow. For example, meet more people and expand your pool of candidates. So what does that mean? Like go to your friends, classmates, colleagues, mentors, alumni. So it's like a top-down process. And then filter for reliable and smart individuals. Then those with a shared vision and values who are all inside this criteria can be one of your co-founder. So if you just filter it out one by one, you will be able to go to a point where you can see who can be your like the other half for this startup. So because usually early stages are unstable. So you should also be open to people who might just come and go quickly. At first, people becomes really, really interested in some ideas, or they just jump into it because they feel like this can turn out to be great. So, and then when they move into the industry more and more, they see more competitors, what services they're providing. They becomes more and more unsure about maybe our idea is not going to work. So at first you need to believe in your idea, and also you need to have people who can believe in the same. But also don't be afraid or just don't try to obliterate someone who are not being able to believe in what you're believing in. They might just come work when you start off for some time, and then maybe they might leave later on as well. But that's why there's a question as well. So how do I distribute equity? So today I'm going to talk more about a process called vesting process, which as a founder secures your startup for yourself and for the future investors, future co-founders as well. And obviously, time and effort will reveal who is committed to the journey and who is not. So just be open to that and try to work as early as possible. The common mistakes on choosing co-founder is that you are choosing friends over suitable candidates. So a lot of the times we don't have a lot of options. So who do we go to? Just, okay, my friends or classmates, even though they don't have the suitable skills or complementary skills, because we are not being able to find another co-founder, we just go and ask them. But if you have the option who have those complementary skills, choose them over your friends. At first, your friends might say, "Why didn't you ask me? Why didn't you tell me?" You just say our vision. You can just say our vision is different, and we are working on something else. I mean, you can just work it out, but it might like kind of shake your friendship a little bit, but still, you're doing it for the long term sake. So just choose the one that's going to help the startup to grow more. And also, sometimes we ignore value differences. As a person, sometimes we have different values. Maybe you're thinking, oh, the whole work culture in your startup would be we're going to be more faster, we're going to grow faster, we're going to go into the market fast. But maybe other person's values, no, we're going to go slow, we're going to make it perfect at first, and then we're going to do launch and all the other steps. So these things needs to be similar. You cannot ignore this, because as a startup, you at first need to define what's going to be your value, which we're going to talk later on as well. So just feel free to not ignore that, and also find someone and ask these questions at first, like what is your value? And I think in our first lecture, I shared about our platform that we're building. So to solve these problems, we're building comatch.ai, where you can find what is other people's value, what skills they have, and all of the other things. I'm going to show a demo to you guys later on after some point, because it's still in the beta stage. We're testing it. Once that's done, I will show you guys. Maybe you'll be able to find your co-founder there as well. Then there's underestimating the importance of complementary roles, especially when you are a non-tech co-founder, which is you cannot really underestimate like another person. You cannot say, okay, I'm the one and only, I'm gonna do everything, but I'm doing a tech startup, but not have someone who can help me with that, or you don't have the willingness to learn about those things. Last question that we're gonna have, I'm gonna give you guys is just better not choose your significant other. If you look into a lot of histories, if you just ask even ChatGPT to give you some examples, you'll find a lot where someone choose their boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife as their co-founders, and then later when had disputes, maybe they had divorce, maybe they had breakup, the whole startup is at stake. Like there are like different values, so people tries to choose in different way. So there's a really good story about the Baidu's co-founder. So if you know Baidu, which is like the Google of China, uh, their co-founders also like husband and wife, and they had to go through a divorce, and they went through the divorce, and the husband was the main shareholder. But then when they had the divorce, he had to give half of his shares also to his wife. So his wife already had her share of income in the company, but then later when they had a divorce, he had to give his half of share to her as well. So eventually she were the largest shareholder, and then she kicked him out from his own company. So there's a lot of this kind of like stories that you can find, some interesting, some funny, some even heartbreaking. So that's why we give a caution: better to choose someone with complementary skills than your loved ones. So just keep that in mind. But if you feel that that's the way to go, you can feel free to do that. But I just gave you a warning beforehand. And also, there's a really important questions that comes to our mind: how much equity you need to give to your co-founder. So there's the thing, like equity splits with your co-founders should be mainly based on the long-term motivation, not just negotiation. At the very beginning, you cannot really negotiate with your co-founder. Okay, I'm the founder, I had the idea. I'll have the majority shares, or you have this, you have only these specific ideas or specific skills. You have this. It's not just about negotiation. It's about how both of you as a co-founder can look into the long term. What kind of motivation you have? Obviously, usually a founder gives the majority of the share, but how do you split the other shares? That's a thing. So that's where the vesting comes into play. So what is a vesting? So vesting is a process where you have a contract, or you maybe usually it's better to have a paper contract. But if you guys are really serious about doing the startup together, and you see the long term vision. So how this thing works, you tell co-founder that within the next 4-year period, which is a cliff mechanism of vesting, within the next 4-year period, you're gonna get your equity in a stage by stage. So how it works is that within the first year, you're not gonna get any equity. So let's just give an example. Let's say me and my friend, we are starting a startup together. I am 70% of the equity holder, and my co-founder is 30%. And how both of us are gonna get equity is that in the first year, no one is gonna get any equity in our name. But within a 4-year period, we can get it eventually. After first year, me and my co-founder, we're gonna get 25% of the whole share. So let's say 25. If you have 30% of your share, 20% of that you're gonna get after your first year. Then after the second year, 25% more. After third year, 25% more. If you stay with the whole startup for a whole 4-year period, then you will be able to acquire your whole equity. Let's say if it can be 30%, 40%, 10%, 20%, however it is. But you cannot really say that we started the startup together, so I should have 20% of the startup, even if you leave after 3 months, 4 months, or after a year. So that's why when you go to investors, they would ask you, do you have a vesting document? Like how did you guys split your equity? So before investing that, they will ask you about that document with a term sheet to see if you guys are committed or not, because it also shows the commitment of both of the co-founders to the investors. So if you guys are serious about your startup and you have a co-founder, I would highly suggest you have a vesting process. And if you need more information about how does vesting works, there's an article. I'll send you guys the link in the group chat. You can learn more about it, how it works, and what kind of documents and everything you need to do. So yeah, this is a vesting. It's a 4-year vesting schedule, and there are also a lot of other ways of vesting. It's called task-based and goal-based vesting. So when you have early team members in your team, you would also want to give them some equity. So how do you give that? You set some certain goals. Like if you can introduce this feature to our customers, if you can have this certain amount of goal achieved, then you will get maybe 10%, 20%, not 20%, I mean 2%, 3% of your whole equity. So that can also work, but it's a little bit more complicated. Usually it happens to the early employees, but for co-founders, it's usually the cliff mechanism, a time period based. And one more key thing is that don't need to be like too harsh with your like whole team. Like generosity, inequity distribution can lead to more motivated co-founders and a more successful startup. I mean, yeah, I know by this time you guys might be asking then what percentage of equity I should have and I should give to my co-founders. Well, we're gonna talk about more on that. But before going into that, there are some reasons where unequity splits happen. As I mentioned earlier, I came up with the idea. I started working a few months ago before my co-founder. This is what we agreed on. My co-founder took a salary for N months and I didn't. I started working full time. A lot of different reasons comes into play, but that's where this kind of vesting comes into place. No matter what you do as a founder or co-founder, you need to stay with that startup for a long term. If you are there, then all of these things will not matter because when you have this kind of disputes, it's not really healthy for the whole team. Obviously, you should have a goal of, okay, this is what you're going to achieve, this is what I'm going to achieve, and this is what we're going to achieve together so that you can have complementary skills and move forward together. So if you look into one more thing, yeah, this part. There are great things that you also learn from the book 0 to 1. Like it takes 5 to 10 years, but usually it can take 7 to 12 years to build a company of great value. And as I mentioned, more equity can be more motivation. And if you sometimes don't value your co-founders, neither will anyone else. So you'll have to at first be really cautious about that. And startups, as I've been asking a lot of the times, what is your idea? It's not about ideas. Everyone has idea. Nowadays, if I ask ChatGPT to give me the top 50 ideas, I'll have all of the ideas. Even the ideas that you guys share, now I know it. What's the possibility that I cannot steal your idea and do it? I can do it. But the whole thing where it differentiates you, the execution part. How do you execute? And every single time the difference comes into the execution process. The same idea I can execute in some ways, maybe you're going to execute in a different way. That's where the vision comes into play because maybe your vision is really long term. You want to build something. Let's say for Chris, because I know more about your startup you shared, I will talk with others as well today. But let's say you want to build a community of German. It's not only about giving them learning, helping them learn just German language, but you can think long term that this is going to be the platform which covers everything about Germany. This is going to be your vision, that this is going to be the operating system for anyone who's willing to know anything about German. So you can include services, you can include languages, you can include tickets, concerts, everything that is, you can show everything about German. So this is the way that only you can do, but maybe I will not be able to do if I'm stealing your idea. Right? Maybe I'm going to try to make it more specific. But okay, I'm going to introduce some AI agents and they're going to help with visa services. So that's where the execution comes into play. As a founder, you'll have to see that vision and then execute on that as early as possible and as fast as possible. Because every day new competitors are coming into the market. So you'll have to be fast enough to catch up and differentiate yourself. Okay, I think I talked more about it, that these are the people who you're going to celebrate your ups and downs more with. So from the very beginning, it's better to find the right person. Or you don't even have to think about who's the right person. Just start the journey. If you have the vesting process in your mind, then who's coming and going is not going to matter a lot because time will show who's really committed and who's not. So if you look closely into the equity split in China and in the US, you'll see two different story. And it's really interesting. In China, a CEO or head of the startup usually keeps 70 to 95%, sometimes even 99% of a startup. Because in China, the startups is mainly founder-led and they have this top-down leadership. So CEO, he has the overall control, and then CFO, COO, like they have this kind of process. It's not really equal in terms of like who has the majority power and shares. So that's why a founder wants to keep the most amount of equity. And also when they are going to ask for funds, the investor also prefers someone who has more equity, because I mentioned about dispute about like the Baidu CEO. So there are a lot of other examples like that that happen in Chinese startup market, where one co-founder kicked another out from the company. So that's why they want someone to have majority of the share, and then later on having some shares to distribute between early members as well. If you look at Jack Ma and Alibaba, or John Yiming from ByteDance, John Yiming from ByteDance, he had 90% of his company, even when it raised funds. And later he diluted, and then later came down to less than 50%. But if you look at the equity splits in the US, I think this is what we hear more, is that CEO or head of the startup, he usually keeps probably like 50 to 80%. Sometimes if you look at Notion, they had like 3 co-founders, and each of them kept 33% each, because they had like complementary skills and they have been putting the same effort and same time, and they came up with this idea together. But later on, the founder had a little bit more. He had 40%, and others had 30-30. This is the culture that we have in the US, that everyone prefers to have a same goal and same kind of equity split, especially maybe 2 to 3 co-founders, because it's all about culture. What you see in the US and what you see in the China, it's all about the culture and what the investor pool in that market prefers. In the US, that prefers more about co-founder collaboration and equity fairness. That's why you would see even a lot of startup founders, they're dropping out of, like, together they're dropping out. It's not just one of them just staying in college and the other one is building the startup. It doesn't happen in that way if both of them are committed. So that's where this kind of equity splits comes into play. So if your target market is maybe in the US or some other places, you should also do a little bit more research of what's the norm there. How does the investors are looking for the startups, like what kind of splits they're looking into that. If you're trying to build a startup in China and launch in China, then obviously you should follow the general norms. But if you're thinking outside of China, obviously you need to find. I just gave you 2 examples of China and US, but some other countries also have some other rules and regulations as well. So that would be my advice for now. Should just look into it more, dive deeper. But obviously, always whenever you're doing equity splits, try to be fair to your other co-founders and also to yourself, so that you can have a long-term vision together and build a team culture. Yeah. So far, do you guys have any questions before we move more into like the team and culture building? Okay.
Maybe later.
Yeah, sure. Okay. The thing here is that we've been talking for about so far co-founders, right? But that is not the all. Once you have a co-founder, the next step is to building a team and the culture in the team. So what is the team culture and why culture is crucial? Does anybody want to say something about what do you believe team culture is in short?
I think it's team culture is maybe also a little bit that everyone in the team maybe knows where we are going, and that we have the same goal, and that we all like treat each other maybe the way you want to be treated. And yeah, and for example, if you have like routines, for example, we have regular meetings with everyone who is involved in our team. I think these are also parts of our team culture. Like no matter we have progress or no progress, every 2 weeks we have like 1 hour or 30 minutes meeting. Doesn't need to be long, but at least we see each other. We know what happened in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, so.
Can I answer?
Yeah, sure.
I guess additional to what Chris said, it's crucial because we may know about the market more than like someone from US or from a different country. This is why we need the team culture, because they live in the same place. They have more idea about what's going on than someone foreigner.
Okay. I think the team culture is not only about like whether you're from the same country or not, or you have, because it's a culture that you build within your system. It's like creating a new country, you know. So every country has a democracy. Every country has their voting system. Some might not have, like there are democratic countries. There are also Republican countries. I mean, there are also like countries who have like different ruling system. Maybe their main president is like he's just a king. I know maybe it's a better example is Saudi Arabia or Oman. So this kind of thing you also need to integrate into your own startup. Like what is gonna be the culture of your team? Like how are you gonna operate within your whole industry? So uh, it's all about communication, trust, and transparency, and finding specific steps and strategies to move forward. And you also need to have clear role definition, and you need to ensure accountability. As at first, Chris mentioned that you have to join every day for a meeting. This is like ensuring an accountability for the team. Like, okay, everyone should be at this time together. We're going to talk about this thing. This is our goal for today. We're going to achieve this thing. That is part of the culture as well. And also setting a decision-making process. When you're trying to launch a new product or service, or when you are planning to make a big decision under a tough situation, how do you make the decision? How, like, who's gonna be part of this whole decision making process? You also need to set that one. And there's a really, really good thing about being able to make decisions early on. When you are facing any problem, as early as you can make the decisions and execute it, the more you'll be able to see the progress earlier in your startup. So what is the main thing about culture? Why it matters? Because right behavior can turn into a good business. So be proud of the problem being solved. This is the whole part of culture. Like, how do you motivate your team members? How do you handle conflicts? How do you solve any problems? How do you introduce new features? How do you stay ahead of the competitors? You need to make the whole team believe of the things. This is the whole culture about the company. You need to define values and behaviors to ensure the hiring culture fit candidates. I also, Jaina, mentioned that maybe you know better about your own company's culture, but maybe not, others might not know. So you also have to ensure that they understand what you stand for. And then obviously create an environment where everyone has a right to share their opinions. Everyone can feel free to share their opinions, because if you look at the big companies, most of the time, the really good ideas came from very junior level employees, because they have the voice to talk about it, because they knows the key problem that the customers are facing. Maybe as a CEO or the co-founder, you're not really after you establish your startup, you're not really engaging with their customers that much. You're maybe engaging with the managers or investors, but the employees, they are engaging with the customer, so they might know what the problem the customers are facing. So that's why always be open to talk at the very end. Let your employees are from the bottom down to go up. At first, let your employees talk, share their opinions, and then you share your opinions and what plans that you're making. That when you establish a startup, your only goal is gonna be listening and dealing with the investors, not just giving new ideas, because the new ideas will come from your team. So now that we talked about the team culture, let's move into recruitment and the team motivation. This is going to be the last part of this whole team building part. As I mentioned, that good team culture leads to good business, and the part of the culture is the team. So strong team leads to a great business as well. And there's a saying that a company becomes the people it hires, not the plan it makes. So you'll see nowadays there's a really big battle between these AI companies. You can see Mark Zuckerberg recently acquired Scale AI to get their CEO in his Meta AI's team lead. He spent 15 billion to get that talent, to get that people in his team. And also he gave offers to OpenAI engineers who built OpenAI model 3.0, 4.0, and he gave even $100 million offers to those engineers to come to his team to get that talent, because they felt like they're falling behind the AI race. So that's how important it is to build the people who have the complementary skills, and your company will become the skills that they have. And prioritize a united team over rigid strategies. If you have a united team, if you have the same goal together and they can believe in it, you don't need a lot of strategies to win. The whole team will make it work. And as I mentioned, obviously embrace diversity, skills and expertise, not just focusing on one specific areas, but try to find what specific areas that you are not capable of and get people to solve that from that specific areas. And they're gonna lead success. So one thing that you can really keep in mind is that a risk-oriented management in startups, which is gene pool engineering. What is gene pool engineering? Is that finding the best talents and people to get it into your team. So at first you just identify top 5 risks to be successful or fail for your startup. And the first 10 hires of your startup, they're not holding high level titles. Like they're not going to be CFO, COO. The titles comes later, except in healthcare AI startups. They have those kind of titles from the very beginning. But if you're into other industries, you don't need to give them titles at the very beginning. At first, give them roles based on their skills. Maybe AI engineer, maybe operation manager, something like that, or the team lead, or just dividing to different sections. For example, the startup that I'm working on currently, Comash.ai, we have 3 different sections. One is responsible for the front-end development and making the designs, making the code for that. And the other one is about backend, who's integrating who's collaborating with the front-end team, and also who's building the authentication system and all the other stuff. And then there's like algorithm team, who's mainly responsible to build a better algorithm so that we can have better match to find co-founders. So this is how we have divided, and every team has a team lead and then other people who have those complementary skills. So, and the second thing that you can do is like making a list of target companies that have that expertise, which are companies that have dealt with that risk. It's really easy to find nowadays with AI. And also within each company, identify 3 names in some sense of priority, like how good they were at doing that. You can list that candidate from the gene pool, and then you can give them task at the very beginning to see who's good at what. Maybe their CV says they're good at management or they're good at Java, but when you give them a task, maybe they turns out to be good at maybe doing front end or back end or that kind of work. So when you're onboarding someone or before onboarding, you need to do this process, and you can build that process by yourself, discussing with the whole team. Lastly, conflict management and resolution, which a lot of the times we get wrong. If this happens, then we feel like, okay, this is the end of our startup, which is not. Team conflicts are really normal. Like there haven't been any companies that have came to a place where it is without having team conflicts, because the most innovative ideas comes when there's a team conflict. You believe it or not, when as a founder you have an idea like, no, this is what I believe in, this is what I'm going to pursue. Like sometimes we can become so like blocked out of the whole scenario. Like we are not seeing from a top down scenario. We are just looking into like what I believe in and what I can see. Like, when we see dreams, when we want to be what we want, we're just thinking about in a different way. But when we listen from someone else and when we see from their perspective as well, we can see a bigger picture. I'm not saying that you have to implement their opinions always, but what I'm saying is that getting all the opinions and making a comprehensive decision based on that. Like look from every perspective and together make a decision of what can work. Maybe you're thinking about something that might be really helpful later down the line, maybe after a few months, you can execute that one, but maybe this time what your co-founder or another employee of your team is telling you can be the better choice to execute right now. So that's how when team conflicts come, just try to handle them in a really better way. You can have a whole team discussion or one-on-one chat with your co-founder and hear from them. You don't have to just shout and like, oh no, this is what I believe in. You don't believe in it. Like there's a lot of different conflicts that I have seen. Even in our previous cohort, we have seen this kind of conflicts happening. Team was about to break, but then later on they became stronger than ever. So yeah, just just having the belief in your team can take you in a long road. Yeah. Lastly, the conflict resolution strategy. As I mentioned already, have some practical management techniques and strategies. I think you guys all are in a situation where you have seen a lot of things in your life. You have experienced a lot of different things, whether it's in your college, in your university. You know how to make decisions, and as an international student, that's where you have the edge because you have came out of your comfort zone from your own country. You came to a different country to pursue your studies or your dreams, and you had to do everything by yourself. So have that belief, and that's how just make a strategy to solve this resolution. Also, don't make an important decisions on impulse. It can be wrong. Just wait for a night at first, or wait for a week to make the final decision, and then you can move on. Then ensuring team cooperation is really important as well. One second, I think I see a message in the group chat. Someone have received Obi from the list. So Obi, if you're here in our meeting, no worries. We will put you in there where you were. I don't need to worry about that. Lastly, employee stock ownership. This is a long-term thing. Like when your company becomes public, or even before going to public, how do you incentivize your early employees or early team members? So that's where ESOPs comes into play. It's like it gives startups or the key people of the startup a slice of the company, which fires them up, like which gives them more motivation. When you see people who are working in Google, Amazon, you would see like they are getting their salary in stocks. Like they are taking the option to get the stocks and some part of the company rather than getting more salary. You can also give that so that they feel like this is not their own job. They are also part of the whole journey. You yourself can imagine that situation when you go to work for a company. If you only get the salary, your main goal is, okay, I'm going to just do the work so that I can get my salary at the end of the month. But when you give them a part of the company, they will have to work for it to make that more valuable because they knows if they work more harder, if they work more diligently, the company will grow and eventually that stock's price is going to rise or that equity is going to be more valuable once the startup raises more money, and they will have more money eventually, which also helps them to think long term. So you can choose between these two. Usually companies nowadays more and more prefer to give some stock options or some equity options to their early employees, maybe 1% or 2% of the company throughout a whole period. That can work out in a really good way. And you're not sharing it with everyone. You're sharing it with the top performers who are the core of your team. You will be able to learn and you'll be able to see who's more motivated and who has the skills to move your startup forward. And that's how they're going to earn REAR as well. And also, no matter who you are, CEO, CFO, co-founder or not, have a feedback mechanism. Make everyone accountable for their actions. Even if you are a CEO, maybe at this moment you don't have to give accountability to a lot of different people. But when you have investors, when you have board members, you're not just your own freedom. Like Obi mentioned that he wants to be his own boss. To be honest, when you go raise funds, I've seen that myself. You are also not that like free. Like you always have to be accountable to your supervisors who invest money because they also want returns, right? They invested money not just to give you the money right away so that you can build your startup. They invested money so that they can get something out of it. So they're gonna ask you monthly, weekly, like, hey, what's the progress? Have you launched the product? Have you launched the features? What is your revenue? So to be honest, if you don't feel like I'm not talking to Obi, but I'm saying to every one of you, if you don't feel like you can handle that pressure and be accountable to someone, don't go into startup. They're a really easy job, secure job that you can do, lead a really happy life, because startups is always full of pressure. There might be calls at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at night. Maybe your investor or their assistant is calling like, hey, we haven't received the term sheet yet of this month. Just send it right now. And at the very beginning, for the first 5 to 10 years, it's that kind of messy. But once you go to a stage where it's like stable, maybe now you're planning to step down as a CEO, give someone else the company's responsibility, and then you just go into the board member. But in the early stage, to make it established, you'll have to go through a lot of things. Maybe I'm not gonna say, but maybe you're gonna go through breakup because you're not gonna be able to give time to your other half. Maybe you're getting out of your friend zone. They're saying you have changed. This is gonna happen. So if you're thinking long term, this is what you'll have to deal about. And continuously, you'll have to optimize your team. I think I already mentioned about gene pool engineering. I will not go deeper into that. And as I mentioned about salary or equity as well, you can decide what you're gonna do. Are you gonna give salary to your like core team members, or you want to give them equity? And yeah, you can also maintain the same process, the vesting process, so that you can retrieve your equity. And there's a thing that I didn't mention about the vesting process, is that there's a term in the vesting process that mentioned that within this four period of time, if the team member or co-founder leaves before that 4-year time period, you have the right to buy back the shares. Like obviously you'll have to pay them the money to buy the shares, but you will have the right to buy back the shares. They cannot oppose that. Okay, I'm not gonna buy my shares. I'm gonna hold it. They are bound to will sell that shares of whatever the price is or whatever the valuation of the company at that time. If you raise, let's say, $300,000 for your startup, then the valuation of your company is maybe $4.23 million. So based on that, you can buy back the shares. Like, hey, you're not with our company anymore, so we would like to buy back the shares. But if they exit after 4 years, then you don't have that right anymore. So that's why I suggest everyone who's thinking for long term and thinking about building a bigger team or going serious to read about that article about investing, which can help a lot later as well. So this is a really key thing that I'm going to mention. Why do people stay? So a lot of the time when people ask you, okay, what is your target market? Like how much revenue can you expect? So sometimes you can say like, okay, my company is going to be this $1 million company, this and that. But if you have the long vision and you talk about my startup is $1 billion startup, not just with an M, but with a B, it also inspires the team to go for the big deal. Like we believe that every company has a chance to become a unicorn, a billionaire company, if their team, their vision and mission, everything aligns together, and they are consistently pursuing for a few years. So that's where you need to, as a founder and co-founder, identify how you're going to introduce yourself to the whole market. What kind of startup you are and what industry are you focusing on? Is it a $1 million industry or a $1 billion industry? Even if it's a $1 million industry, how can you turn and how can you change the whole industry and become the leader in that industry and become a $1 billion company? So that's the vision and goal you need to set from your team side. And I'm not going to share more about the motivation. I'm going to share the slides later on. You guys can look over it as well. Like how do you motivate your team and how do you incentivize and how do you make a platform for them so that they can continuously learn, not just here in the company to earn some money or equity and just go on with their life. If you look at America or US, they're big companies. Like these 3 companies have one of the best employees. If you look at the chart, OpenAI, now they're at the top of having the best employees. And most of the companies who have become rich or they have become really valuable in the whole market or industry, they had really great employees. Especially there was a research among 3,000 US startups founded from 2014 and 21 with over 50 employees. And they have seen like this kind of results, how a team role and the team members role can change the whole direction of a startup. And they also provide the value of working at their company. Like Discord has this kind of value, like managers act as a support and guidance for individual contributors. A small team as foster employee growth. There's autonomy, mastery, purpose. They have set all of these values for their company as well. How did OpenAI create value? They had the reputation, and then they provided employee satisfaction, and then they also integrated the DRP unit, like design, engineering, research, product, to build prototypes and improve models together. The key thing here that you would hear a lot when you're pursuing your entrepreneurial journey is build something that people really want. You cannot just build something that looks fancy, that sounds really amazing, but people doesn't have a need for that. That doesn't create any value, and that would not help you anytime soon. So that's why I have told all of you at the very beginning that find a problem and try to solve people's problem. That's what's going to create the value, and that's going to bring the revenue and the money for your startup as well. Okay, so before we move into mission, vision, values, how much time we have? 20 more minutes, but we'll probably have like take 10 to 20 more minutes to complete the lecture. But before that, we would take maybe 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes short break so that everyone is a little bit refreshed. So you can just have some water or some snacks so that we are again back with more motivation. Yep.
Yes, chill.
First, you need to turn off the microphone.
Oh.
Hey guys, I think we can start back up and so that we can finish earlier. And I think today we will have to delay our office hours a little bit because our lecture might take a little bit more time. So we might need to start at 1:30 as well, so that you have a break in between to get some refreshments as well. Yeah, so I will start sharing my screen again. Hope everyone can hear me and is with us. Okay. Yeah, so we were talking about mission, vision, and values. What this is exactly. What is mission? I
Yeah,
know
that's
some
my
of you
mission.
so some of you might be already laughing, like, what is mission? Is it all about making money? I mean, I think we already discussed at the very first lecture as well. Like, can be one of the reason why you are doing a startup, and it's completely fair. I mean, no one is gonna do startup just for the sake of, okay, I'm gonna just create some value and I'm just gonna be a monk for the rest of my life. I don't need anything. Everyone, everyone has their own needs. Beside, to run a startup, you would still need money, in the long term, to have more features and have more team members, give them incentives, and especially if you're hiring employees, obviously you would need to pay them money. So yeah, your mission can be earning more money, but this is not all. If your only mission is that, okay, I'm just doing this for the sake, I'm gonna be a billionaire, millionaire, then maybe you should change your thinking process. This is part of it, but not all. So what is your mission? Like, how do you define your mission? This mission is like, why do we exist as a company, as a startup? And this mission and this answer of this question will guide decision. It's going to be more than making money, and it inspires team and connects with customers. When you share your mission of a company, then your customer base also see you not just as a business who are earning money. That's where I also shared differentiation between a startup and a business. A business doesn't really share about their mission, vision, or value. They share, this is the service that we're providing for you, and this is what you can get. Pay us money, and you get the service. You don't have a customer, like, really fan base there. You need to create a fan base, and to create a fan base for your whole startup, you need to have a mission. For example, EV for sustainable transport. This is one of the mission for Tesla. I will share more examples of that. And whenever you have a mission and whenever you're trying to do something new with your startup, you'll always be able to check, does this align with our mission? And that can drive a really good decisions into your startup. If I give you some examples, for Alibaba, they're not talking about we do import export, we provide you services. They talk, we make it easy to do business anywhere. That's their mission. They're not talking about, okay, if you come here, you can get this feature, you can find this and that product. No, those are just features. No one talks, big startups or really good startups, they never talk about that features when they're talking with their customers. They make them believe this is what they're gonna do. Tesla, they're saying they accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. You never hear Tesla talking about, this is the most amazing car you're gonna be able to find in the whole market. We are better than them. We're better than them. They're always talking about, this is gonna be more efficient. This is gonna be better for the environment, and that is their mission. For LinkedIn, to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. This is how mission works, and I think you get a bit idea of like what mission is. Now let's talk about a little bit more about vision. So vision is about the destination where you want to go, and the goal, where this is where we mismatch. We think that our goal is our vision. No, the goal is a near future. Let's say what for the next few years is gonna be your goal, like what you want to achieve. But vision is your destination. Like, after 20 years, how people are gonna know your company, what they're gonna know you for. That's gonna be your vision. So, as I mentioned, for vision, you need to set high standards. You don't need to say for now, oh, I don't think we can do it now possible because we have limited source, we have limited funding. No, that can be part of the goal, because you can say, I cannot achieve this goal now because I have these limitations. But for vision, you can see anything. You can say anything and you can believe in anything. this is the thing that is going to guide you and inspire you along your journey, because you know this is not my end goal. My end goal is something else. So if I give you some really good example of big companies, Tesla again, to their vision is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. They don't mention anything about electric cars. For Microsoft, their vision when they started was a computer on every desk in every home. And this vision attracted the right people to the company as well. The employees that joined, they believed in this vision. That's why vision is called the North Star for the company. For Google, they said, organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. They didn't mention about product or search engine. They didn't say the world's best search engine. They didn't say that. So this is the vision. You need to create something that people can believe in, that people see that this is going to create some value further down the line as well. Lastly, the values. So the values is the core beliefs that is non-negotiable for your company. This is the foundation of how you operate. This is going to guide you also how you make decisions and how everyone has behavior for the whole startup. This also ensures consistency and integrity. And whenever you are creating values or you're making decisions, you can check whether this action matches with your values or not. So at the end of today's lecture, we would have some tasks for you guys to create these things for your startup or idea that you have. So if I give you some examples here as well, I'm talking about the same three companies. You can search more about other big companies. You would see that you wouldn't believe what is their mission, vision, and value is until you look into them. We always know ChatGPT because it provides the services, but their vision is that they want to make the transition of this sixth industrial revolution. They want to make the transition of AI from the current phase. That is what they talk about. They don't talk about the features as well. You can look into it more, but for Alibaba, what they said when they started, their value is the customer first. You would still hear, if you look into Jack Ma's podcast or his interviews, he always mentioned customer comes first. And then teamwork, embracing change, integrity, passion, and commitment. For Tesla, doing the best and taking chances. Tesla took a lot of risks. Like Elon Musk himself, you know him, he is a risk taker. And respect, continuous learning, environmental responsibility. For LinkedIn, they said, we put members first. We trust and care about each other. We're open, honest, and constructive. We act as one LinkedIn. We embody diversity, inclusion, and belonging. We dream big, get things done, and know how to have fun. I mean, it's a big definition for LinkedIn, but you can make it short as well. What is your values? How are you going to operate as your company, and what you want your team members to believe in as well? So in short, what is mission? Mission and value is mission is action plan for today. What you want to do, what you want the people to know about you for today. And the vision is what is your future destination. And values are your guiding principles. And there's one key thing that with mission, vision, value, you need to keep in mind is the focus. Like, what is going to be your focus? This will keep team aligned while building great products or services. Okay. Now, there's a quick thinking here. What is the relation between strategy and values? Can anybody say or have idea about what is the relation between strategy and values?
I have no idea.
Okay, no worries. You'll
I,
have
I
an idea.
only, yeah, okay. For strategy, for strategy, for strategy I know, but I don't know what values here means. For strategy is also for us, for example, my strategy or our strategy is we are building our product or one part of a product, and we do not show it to the public at the moment. And our strategy is we go out when we think it's
the strategy
wrong.
connected with the video is the same.
Yeah.
Why we are not coming online now? Then what value we are providing? Like, what is benefit here?
The benefit is, I believe, what we do is, maybe it's not something super special, but if we go out too early, I'm sure there will be many others. They just do the same, copy. And the idea is to go out later, is that I believe when we go out later, there is no chance that others can copy us and catch up with us. This is one part of the strategy.
I guess it's what, like the shape
values.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what an organization do is strategy, and how it does it, it's called value. This is my opinion.
Oh,
yeah.
So I was
That's a
talking
really
about value.
that's a really good point. Like how the differentiation between strategy and values you pointed out. So strategy is your plan, like how you're gonna do it and what are you do currently, and value is what is your belief, like what you believe in the team. Like, do you focus more on commitment? Do you focus more on just having more open communication, or you prefer more about just feedback, or you don't want opinions from that? Like those are different kind of values that you can create. Usually the values are kind of similar to most of the like tech companies or healthcare companies. They have the similar values usually, because that drives the whole company forward. And so here's the thing. Values are more important than strategy, if you believe it or not. When you create a value, the strategy is just to follow that along. So why do we talk about mission, vision, and value before we talk about your product, like your user research? How can you improve your startup and everything? Because this is the purpose. You'll have to start with the purpose. If you don't have the purpose, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up in the middle, because this sets the stage for our product development journey. It guiding both our product decisions and research efforts. And it ensures that the team aligns seamlessly with the same goals. And it's about crafting products that embody the company's mission, vision, and values, resonating deeply with your users as well. So that's why at the very beginning you might be wondering, like, okay, maybe today's lecture we thought maybe we're gonna deploy our ideas. I heard about you guys' ideas, and I have office hours lined up. I'm gonna discuss more with you one-on-one. But this is the first stage before you start a startup, and that's where you can differentiate yourself from a business, and that's where you can create more value for yourself as well. And you need to have a clarity of idea as well. That a clear idea is the foundation for your growth. And these practice of mission, vision, and values are gonna make your idea more clear and make you believe what you want to do. Now maybe you have a current version. Chris mentioned you have one, but when you go into this root thing, you'd see a lot of things might change, and you might think differently about the current strategy that you have, that you're not planning to come out early. When you could create these things, mission, vision, values, that might also change later on. But for now, we have two more topics left, which is going to be really quick. One is user research, and then product development. So what is user research? The user research is to get to know your users inside and out. What is their needs, their behavior, and their pain points? Sometimes people create surveys or different questionnaires and send it to those potential customers, and then they ask some questions that can help them to make the product better or make better decisions. The goal is to create products that they truly love, ones they actually need and will use. That's why user research is really important before you start deploying your idea into the market. And user research is not same as market research. User research focuses on user needs for product development, and market research is the broader market trends and like competition. What market are you targeting? What industry are you in? How much revenue can you expect? Who are your competitors? All of these things is going to be about market research. User research is something really important and unique that you'll have to spend more time into. You have seen a lot, you can look into a lot of documentaries or a lot of articles where you'd see founders, when they start their company at first, they used to go out and talk with the customers in the streets. Recently, there was a video viral about Lei Jun, Xiaomi's founder. When he at first launched mobile phone, he was going to streets, telling people this is a smartphone in China, because at the time China was not that developed and people didn't have a smartphone at the time. He was going and showing people this is the functionality, this is how you can use it, and he was getting rejected a lot of times. This is how you do the user research. You go talk with the customers. When you are building something, you cannot just sit in at your home and just surf the internet. You'll have to actually go and talk with a person who can be a potential user and know from them. Maybe if you are in a different place, schedule an online interview with them. It's better always to have in person. Just go out to some places, find those kind of potential people and talk with them. The focus is to prioritize user research to inform design choices. After you make those priority, then you can go into making designs and building your apps later on. And what is the research methods here? There's like qualitative and quantitative. The qualitative is understanding the why behind the actions, like why they want this and why they need a solution. And the what is like what they need and how much of the need of this thing. Based on those answers, this qualitative quantitative, after combining both of these worlds, you can find actionable data and use those to improve your product. And then in terms of qualitative research is you'll have to explore the why, like understanding the user motivation. And as I mentioned before, the methods can be interviews, observations, like diary studies. And the principle is to listen more and speak less. Let the user guide you through the conversation. Let the user guide you for your startup. You don't have to tell them, I'm thinking about, I have this solution for this thing. No, they will talk about the solution. When you ask, okay, what problem you're facing when you're trying to do this thing, or when you're trying to go from this part to that part, what's stopping you? And they will talk, oh, I think if I had this thing, it would have been better. It would have been easier. They will give you the solution. You don't have to say, I have this solution or feature. Just take the notes, listen, and just thank them and stay in touch with them, because later on when you launch it, they can also be your initial test users and they can give you more feedback later on. And obviously, if you give them some incentives, what I mean by incentives, like being more polite. You don't have to give them money. Just being more polite, having a really close connection with them can really help you along the way. Because having proper feedback is more important than having some vague feedback. That's why when you are starting, we don't really ask founders to go and talk with their family members how the product is, or talk with their friends, because your friends are always gonna try to say, oh no, you build a great thing, I believe in you, oh my god, it's so amazing. Like they would always try to butter you. Like they would give you like the kind of feedback that maybe you have never thought about. You would feel more motivated, like, okay, yeah, I believe in more in my idea more and more. And you would always neglect the key information and key thing that you need to improve on. That's why we need to talk with the people who doesn't know you, who doesn't know what you stand for, who just can only focus on the product that you're building. And then they can look into the product, they can use it, and then they can give you real feedback. That's why I try to use family and friends for feedback, because they would always give you the good feedback and you would believe, okay, this is the optimal solution for it. So if you look into how to talk with the users, before talking with it, you'll have to find who are your users via various channels. And now, if you're in China, WeChat, different WeChat groups, Xiaohongshu, Weibo, or even Baidu, you can search there and you can find who are your test users if you're starting in China. If you are, if your goal is to start somewhere else, you can find them through online as well. And this is a good thing about technology. You can find everything online nowadays. But if you're not in if your target customer is not in a different country, then you should go out and find these customers and talk with them in person by yourself. The principle is like during the user research, as I mentioned, talk more with low frequency information values. What I mean by low frequency, not giving solution at first, but listening at first. And then gather everything and then organize the results Then you have a discussion with your team. Like, hey, let's say you have 3 co-founders, 3 of you go into different places. You find these people who talked with you, who gave you feedback, and together you gather all these things in a document and you discuss which one you are going to try to prioritize first. If everyone in your 3 of you in your team member, you see that most of the users talking about a key problem, at first solve that. Doesn't matter, okay, no, I'll have to design this one and then I can go there. No, at first pick that problem and design your whole startup based on that. And then later you can keep adding the second most wanted feature, third most wanted feature. That's how you win in the market. That's what's going to differentiate you from other startups. Anyone can start a startup, but not anyone is willing to go out in the sun, busk in the sun, and then talk to the customers and get feedback. This is going to differentiate you no matter. So that's why, Chris, if you believe that people's going to copy you and they're going to make a startup, that's not going to be possible. Because if you're starting a startup, you will be the differentiator, not other one. In China, or even if you launch your startup, I can ensure you that within the next 2 days, anyone will be able to copy your platform because they can just code. They don't have to code. I mean, obviously, you'll have more advantage onto like, okay, you have built the community, you have the users, but in terms of features, anyone can copy that. So your core value would be here. How do you find the solution for the people and how do you bring them into the same page? And that's how you can, as a team, move forward. So don't need to be afraid of the competitors. There's a thing like Elon Musk, if you or OpenAI's founder or NVIDIA's founder, they don't care about competitors at all. They don't even look at competitors because when you are focusing on improving your own product, the competitors will always fall down and fall behind. And especially the things that you're learning today and you're going to learn in the future, maybe not everyone is getting the same information as you at the same timeline. So you have a better advantage than them. So rather than being afraid and staying behind, a lot of the times you'll see nowadays, you can go into Instagram or LinkedIn and you see into people's profile. They are saying building this startup. Like now they're building in public. They're doing, if you see, look into the Cluely, which is a new startup, which helps everyone to cheat on their interviews. It became so viral because they have built in public, they have shown everyone what they're doing, even if it was non-ethical. They went through 6 lawsuits already because they are building a platform that helps people to like cheat on everything, whether it's exam interviews and everything. But still, they raised $10 million. Can you imagine? So that's what building in public has become the new trend in the market. Nowadays, no one really looks into who's hiding behind. They are now looking into focus. Investors are trying to find the person or startups that is in the public and that they can invest in. So just yeah, obviously you can share when you are gonna do that later on, like what timeline. But it's always good to build based on your users' feedback. I'm not just saying to anyone, like I'm not just saying to only Chris, but everyone here, because I also know about Sam and Sarah, who also shared the same idea. So I'm talking to all of the teams who are here. And there's a one thing is like, before you talk to the users, you have to prepare assumptions. Like who are the users, what are their pain points and priorities. You don't have to then talk with like ask them the same thing. You will have to assume, okay, this is my customer base and this is the people that I need to find. And then the mindsets, like obviously you'll have to embrace rejection when you go out and you try to talk with someone. People are gonna say, okay, where did you come from? I don't need it now, just go away. Like you'll have to handle a lot of rejection, and sometimes you might feel ashamed as well. Oh God, I cannot tell more about the rejections, how much we had to face when we were starting a startup. It's obliterate. I mean, you're gonna feel at the lowest point of your life when you're going to talk with your customer. This is the hardest thing. But if you can do that, you don't need thousands of customers. If you have 10, 20 people who are willing to get the solution that you want and they're willing to pay for it, you don't need anything more. That 10, 20 is can turn into 10, 20,000 within a very few months. So don't need to worry about that as well. And observe users, like as I mentioned as well. And lastly, take notes. The best founders talk to their users throughout the lifetime of the company. So that's why I mentioned when you are talking to a user, build a long-term relationship with them as well. because throughout your whole journey, they would give you constant feedback if they become your long-term users and daily user of your product as well. Then there's qualitative part of the research, the what, to measure the user behavior and set goals and hypotheses, collecting and analyzing data, and uncovering the patterns and behavior of the outcome that you got from this user research. So yeah, this is a guide that you can look into later on as well. They need to prepare the questions, methods, people who are the people, insights, and then analyze and then personas and maps to build out the whole system. This is the way of doing a full effective user research, having a full picture, combining the qualitative quantitative part, clearing your goals, and having expected outcome, and then obviously continuously learning and discovering new insights. And there are some really key quotes from so many amazing people and startup founders who have done user research by themselves. Steve Jobs said that people don't know what they want until you show it to them. Chris, this is what I've been telling you. People don't know what they want until you show it to them. Once you show it to them, they're like, oh yeah, I've been wanting it for a long time. Because people don't keep information in their mind for a long time. This is our biology. But when you show it to them, when you say, okay, what is the problem? You'll get the answers right away. Then Mark Zuckerberg said the most important thing is to always be learning from what other people are doing. And then based on that, you can make adjustments. Lei Jun, the founder of Xiaomi, say that their fans help them to make their products. Have you seen Xiaomi has launched cars? Do you know why they launched cars? Because their users said if Xiaomi had a car, that would have been great. They would have had all of the softwares that would have had this beautiful design, and they took that into mind. And now Xiaomi is becoming the top seller, not only in China, but also they're going global later on. And recently Xiaomi launched their U7, and then within 2 hours, they launched 200,000 units. The pre-booked, everything sold within 2 hours. And that's how a company is built, by their fans, by their users. Then Elon Musk said, like, I think it's very important to have a feedback loop where you are constantly thinking about what you have done and how could you be doing it better. And the feedback loop comes back from your users. Lastly, is the product definition. This is our last topic, which is really quick. I think you guys have already understood mission, vision, values, and user research. And then now you're moving into product definition. So I'm taking you guys from step by step, from the very root. I assume that none of you here knows anything about startup. That's how I started. For some of you, you already might know some of these topics and everything, but having this and having this revised and knowing this can like make your mindset. The very first lecture I mentioned, it's as a founder, it's not about building great products. It's all about your mindset and identity. If you can create an identity of a founder, then the rest is the process. So what the purpose is, what problem does the product solve? This is the question that you'll have to ask when you're creating a product or service. What problem does it solve? And you have to be really concise. When someone asks you, okay, how do you, what your product does or what your startup does, you'll have to say it within 1 or 2 sentences. You cannot say, okay, I think about this. We have been thinking that and that. No, you have to be really straight card. Okay, let's say I'm building a AI task manager. I can say our AI system will save 2 hours of your time while doing email marketing. Something like that, just really clear card. Our product will help you to save your time for 2 hours when you're doing email marketing. That's it. That's how you have other features, obviously, but that is the core and the purpose of your product. And then the users, who is the product for? And then paying user, who will pay for it? There can be a lot of users, but the core thing is who's willing to pay for it. And the features, what makes the product unique. So you can see the features comes at the very end. At first the purpose, then the user, paying user, and then the feature. So that's why I really urge not to focus on the features at the very beginning, focus on the purpose. Then the importance of a clear product definition, because it will align with your team. Definitely, when you have a clear goal and clear product definition, everyone in your team knows what you want to do. I've seen a lot of startups where team members or even founder doesn't know what they're doing. Maybe they just got the idea and they didn't even think about what is the core thing. And so when you work through these whole things, it's going to become clearer not only to you, but the whole team. And it will ensure that everyone in your team is moving in the same direction. And it will also attract the right users. If they are not your target users, it's okay to move on. Not everyone's going to be a user. Focus on a niche. I think some of you already mentioned in the homework submission that you learned from 0 to 1. It's better to become a monopoly in a really small market than to be a competitor in a big market. So that's the goal for you guys. Like find a market. Obviously, some of you are in a big market now, but there's always a way to find a niche in that big market as well. That's something no one has been ever working on it. And then it guides your development, making sure you are building something great that people really wants. Lastly, as I mentioned already, identifying the problem, understanding your users, define your solutions, which is like value proposition, features, user experience, decision making, then build, measure, learn, and then iterate to excellence. This is the whole process of a product development and doing a startup. At first, you identify the problem. What is the problem? You talk to your users, you understand their problem, understand your users, and then you define your solution, like all the features and everything. Then you keep building on it, measure, have a feedback mechanism, learn continuously. If you don't have certain skills, learn that along the way, iterate, and make it a great startup later on. So, what are the key takeaways from this? Is that purpose and user. I've been saying it every more and more so that you guys also like take it really seriously about your purpose and user, because this will also align and attract and keep them focused on the target, and iterate from the feedback and solve the real needs. You don't need to introduce a new feature until your user has a real need for it. Lastly, Steve Jobs said, like, begin with the customer experience and work backward to the technology. This is what we said already. You start with the customer experience and you try to, okay, how can I solve it with my technology or with my service? Elon Musk said solve significant challenges. Jeff Bezos, be customer obsessed, not competitor focused. Every single great startups, they would always talk about the customer. Even if you go to a restaurant, there's a saying, customer first. Customer comes first. This has become the industry standard. And as a startup, it's more important than anything else because they are going to be the driving force of your whole startup. And lastly, like embracing speed and iteration. I will talk more about how speed is really important. And that's how your startup will turn out to be a great from MVP to testing. We're going to talk more about MVPs. I have an announcement for all of you if you are really listening eagerly, which is after the third week, in our fourth week, we're going to have SGA AI hackathon, the first ever SGA AI hackathon, which is going to help you and give you a platform to build your product if you haven't built one, or launch your product that day, which can be in next Saturday. I'll announce the date and more information about that later on, where not only you, but also people who are outside of SGA, they will join and you will also be able to see what products they're building. And why we're calling it AI startup is because you are more than open to use any AI tools, even if you don't know how to code or something, and build something with that one within just 24 hours. So on Saturday, you're gonna build at the very beginning in the morning. We're gonna have an introduction and give you the guidelines of how you're gonna work. Then throughout the whole day, you're gonna work with your team and build the product. And then on Sunday, so we're gonna have the presentation for that online. So the next week, try to keep your Saturdays and Sundays free so that you can completely immerse yourself into the startup, build it together with your co-founders, or if you don't have a co-founder, by yourself, and then later on Sunday, share it with us. And I will give more guidelines on that, but I'm just announcing it beforehand before we make it public. So yeah, that's gonna be MVP. So in that whole hackathon, you're gonna build MVP, your minimum viable product. This is just the way to test your users and ideals. You're gonna test like how this works. You're gonna show people, and then from there on, within the next few weeks of our whole cohort, we're gonna improve that MVP and we're gonna make a real product and eventually launch into the market and do our demo day. So next, we will have some Q&A if you have one. Before that, we have some homework announcement for you as well. That today's lecture, I've covered most of the time. We have gone over the time as well. You guys might be tired also, but I wanted to let you guys know all of these things beforehand so that from today you can be really committed and build these systems, build mission, vision, and values, get together, make a team, and work on your startup really seriously. Because this summer, as we mentioned, can change the whole trajectory of your next phase of your life. So the homework is build a team if possible, get together, start working on your idea, try to connect with anyone from this cohort or from outside. Pick your battles, find your mission, vision, and values. Choose one or two startup ideas you're passionate about. Or I would suggest for now, after today, at the very end, you choose one that you're most passionate, and I will have office hour, and then we can have a more defined idea that you can pursue for the next 1 week. You'll have to improve on that and try to build the initial version of your product or have a better research on that. And then know your crowd, which means knowing your users. Dive deep into what your customers are, identify their age, location, favorite media, spending habits, current alternatives, which means competitors, and also user research. I would suggest go out today and maybe start talking with your customer if you already have an idea. And then lastly, we have a reading suggestion for you, which is like Hackers and Painters by Paul Graham. This is also going to give you a better idea of everything that we talked about, but more about startup as well and more specific steps that can drive success to your startup. Yeah, I will see all of you who have office hour with me today, and who doesn't have, or if you have any other questions for now, you can ask me right away. Okay. Anyone have any questions for now? If not,
Excuse me,
yeah.
I'm curious about the exact date for the MVP making model day. If you know,
Okay.
could you inform me in advance, please, so I would be able to organize my schedule? It's pretty busy these days.
Okay, so it's gonna be July 19th. 19th and 20th. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So next week we are gonna talk more about MVP, like how to build your product, what are the things that you need to do, and I will also introduce you to some tools. If you don't have a co-founder, how you can build that with AI. And, it's gonna be a tutorial. So next week our lecture might also take a little bit more time, like today. But then right after that, next week on Saturday, we will have this hackathon. And then on 20th, so on Sunday, we will have the presentation for that. So there might be 20, 30 teams, I would prefer having less teams, but with better quality. Every team might have 5 minutes to present their idea and 2 minutes for Q&A. I will invite some mentors and judges as well who are entrepreneurs or investors who can give you more feedback as well. And I think the week after that, I will also invite some other mentors who can take a session with you, and that will be on Sunday. Saturday, I'm going to take the usual classes with you guys, give you more feedback and also the direction of where you're going. And on Sunday, you can know additional information through them. So yeah, we have a whole plan ready for all of you so that you are ready to go out in the world and create something that people want to change life and change industries. That's the goal of this whole cohort. And we believe in that, but most importantly, you will have to believe in that and put that time and effort. I know sometimes we can make excuses like I'm busy with this, I'm busy with that, but as I mentioned, you have to prioritize what is important for you. I don't expect every one of you to be the great founders, but if you believe that you can be that, that's up to you. We are just here to give you the support and drive you along the way. So yeah, that is it for today. Thank you all for being patient and learning all these things all along. And I hope you had a great time today and got to know other members as well. And I'm looking forward to see your idea come true to live. And I'm more than happy to support you anyhow along the way. So feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I will see you next week again.
Hey, I do have one last question.
Yeah, sure. Go on.
Do you know anyone who's specialized in encryption coding?
You mean like as your co-founder?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a co-founder or at least someone who's already doing this, so I could ask my questions because I have so many questions about it, and I would need to have like some guidance around it too.
Okay, I can look into that, but I'm not sure. My first suggestion would be the questions that you have at first. I think there's no one better to answer than ChatGPT, and now that can give you whole, and you can also use Gemini. It will create the whole comprehensive report from the internet. And then later, if you need someone who to be a co-founder, obviously, I can try to find someone, but it's also on you. Like I can find you someone, but as I mentioned today, having a co-founder is not just about finding an employee. It's about finding a person who you can trust and who have those same values as you. So yeah, let's look into your university at first, look into your network at first. I will try to find someone who you can ask more questions, and maybe just not as a co-founder, but as like having an industry expertise. But other than that, try to use all the tools for now, and then later we will talk more about it. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. But if you can find someone, is that person's going to be in Beijing or are they going to be in another city? Because I think it's better for me to meet them face to face. That way I can also build like a real human relationship.
I'm not sure because I don't know who's really expert in the encryption system for now. I will have to just
Okay.
ask inside my network who has knowledge about it, and then I'll have to see if that person is gonna be in Beijing or some other cities. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
May I ask a question as well, please?
Sure.
Well, did I get you right that 19th and 20th July we are going to meet somewhere in Beijing, someplace like
No. Oh, wait, it's online. It's online.
okay, online. And about 19th, so on 19th we are going to make some MVP online by like within our team or
Yeah. So we're gonna keep our Zoom open, maybe for the whole day or for the very beginning. We're gonna give you direction of how you can do it and what are the rules that you need to follow and what are the industry specs that we have. And then the whole day is on you. You can either just sleep whole day and just do nothing, and the next day don't need to present even anything. It's because we cannot see you and you're not in person because it's like a whole online hackathon. So that's why I mentioned it's all up to you. You will have to create your team, or even if you're doing by yourself, you have to make time and then just leave other commitments behind or do it in a different time. And for this whole day, within 24 hours, you'll have to build your MVP. That's what is hackathon is. Within 24 hours, you build a basic version of your product. And then on Sunday, you can also just improve a little bit, but on Sunday, it's going to be mainly presentation. You just present with your slides. You make a slide of like 10 pages and share what you have built and what is your startup about. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the details.
Welcome. Thank you. Well, I'll give more details in our next lecture as well. Our team is just making the preparation for the hackathon, and then later we will make it public. Yeah.
I understand. Thank you, Sohan. Very useful
Welcome.
information.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. If anyone doesn't have any other questions, then yeah, for today we can stop it right here. Today we had 2.5 hours of whole session, but yeah, I hope it was meaningful to all of you and you guys could learn something, and we look forward to your journey as well. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.